Hey, you guys, it's me. Hopefully, you can hear me. Alder's sleeping, and Bubba's outside. Her very last night. Um, this is it. This is my very last night in Big Camper. Someone is coming 2 hours to buy her. We sold her for like a third of what we wanted, but I'm just glad that she's going to sell. As of right now, she's coming here tomorrow by train. We're going to pick her up. And there's a lot of cool nuances there. Like in her email, there were only 2 numbers, and it was 76, which is the number 13. And if you add together 1976, it's also the number 13. So very witchy. I don't know much about them. We haven't even really spoke. It's really just been through text and email. And the interesting thing was when we first put Big Camper up for sale, not many people responded, but there were 2 that were very interested. So we were kind of talking, at least to the one I was really talking to a lot. And then when we decided to keep Big Camper, we got an email from the person that's coming to buy her tomorrow. And I was like, by the way, I don't look at my hair. It's like 2 in the morning, and I've been moving and packing, and it's been like 95 degrees 3 days in a row here, and it was in the 60s, and it shot up to the 90s. All while like balls to the wall, cleaning, packing, putting stuff in storage. Like, it's just been so much. But anyway, so I feel a cool witchy vibe from her, so I'm kind of excited to see who they are and like get to know them. And if it's 76, I'm assuming they were born in 1976, which would mean they're probably 44 or 45. Which is interesting because that's around the age I was when we got Big Camper. I think I was 45. I don't remember. We've had Big Camper for 6.5 years. Anyway, doesn't matter. It's late, and I just smoked a lot of weed to help me sleep because I'm so tired. And then I just heard, you're not going to do your last night video in Big Camper? And I was like, oh yeah, I guess I should. Even if nobody ever watches it. You know how you don't care what you look like until you're looking at yourself? I haven't looked at myself on camera in a really long time. It's making me a little self-conscious. But as you can see, I haven't really been sleeping. It's been a lot. But it's also been a beautiful experience, especially because we have no idea where we're going. And I'm going to be not homeless. I mean, I don't think of it that way. I think of it like wanderers, you know? Just because no matter how much I've changed and evolved and grown over the years in terms of like going from living in my vintage high rise and driving nice cars and having good jobs and all that, and being perfect, and like I would have never put myself on video like this back then. Never, like never. And I just realized like just how much Big Camper has taught all 3 of us. You know, we're a little concerned because, I've never been living out of a car with a cat, but it should be interesting. We love to camp, and there are so many times we've gone camping where we've literally said, I wish Bubba was here. So now Bubba's going to learn how to camp. So we're taking it as a positive experience. We wanted so much for Big Camper, but the more we like cleaned her, took her apart and whatever, it was like one thing after the other where I was like, you know what, I'll be happy if I get $1,000. I'm like, we paid $700 for her. We've put in a lot of time and effort, but we've also lived in here for 6.5 years. And Alder had to buy some new parts and work on the engine and the brakes, and we had to buy a new battery, and it was like an investment. It's like we had to spend money on her to make money. So in the end, we may just walk away with $700, which is kind of interesting because, you know, this was our home. We own it. There's something really cool about that. And I think because I rented so much my whole life and so many people I know and are related to have owned at an early age, it's just kind of funny because it's like, what is your house worth, right? So yeah, if you buy a $250,000 house and you know, sell it for, hopefully sell it for more, but the market goes up and down. You're just happy to, you know, not, you know, just get out from under it or walk away with some money. And that's how we feel right now. I'm like, you know, I don't think we're meant to move anywhere right now. I've just been going through so many things and so many epiphanies, and I'm trying not to cry. But at the same time, I'm excited to see where this goes. And I think an older version of me would be so fucking petrified. But Alder and I have changed so much since we came in here and moved in here. And we, just the way we've been handling this together has been really beautiful and lovely. And we've grown so much and we've changed so much and we've matured so much. And we were like two big kids, you know, just living. And there's nothing wrong with that. But, you know, this has been my home for 6.5 years. And the longest time I ever lived anywhere was in the last house I lived in with my parents and my brother and my sister. And that was, I think, about 7 years. 6.5, somewhere in there. So it's kind of interesting how that is happening. And it's weird to think of this as my last night here. Because I bitched and moaned. And those of you who used to follow me on Lula's Labyrinth, I may repost those videos. I don't know. We'll see. Who cares? You know when you get to the point you're like, I don't care. Just like, I don't care about this. I don't care about that. It's just been an experience all the way around. And I just feel super grateful for it. And yeah, it's made me like a little crazy. And actually, I don't even care. I'm going to pull this down right now because I've had my hair like this for like 2 days. Even today I got in the shower and I was like, I'm not ready to wash my hair yet. I'm going to wash my hair tomorrow. Rosanna, Dana. Yeah, I'm back blonde, by the way. I just went back blonde for summer. I was hot pink. Anyway, it's just been such an amazing experience, and I was trying to claw out of here. You know, you guys know I bitched and complained about it. I'd be like, I just gotta get the fuck out of here. I just gotta get the fuck out of here. But the interesting thing is, I've been having all these epiphanies as I was packing and going through stuff and like realizing how many things I don't need to hold on to anymore. And it's time for her to go somewhere new and for somebody else to like have those epiphanies and experiences. You know what I mean? Like Big Camper will challenge you, but you'll grow from her. You know what I mean? Like she's so amazing. Like we've gained so much from living here. And I told him today, I said, I just feel like I owe her so much. And that no matter what happens or whatever, like I will always, always be so grateful for this experience. And it was a long, dark night of the soul, that's for sure. But at the same time, I wouldn't be who I am, you know? And for the first time in my life, I realized I really love myself. And it didn't matter, like we laughed that when we moved in here, how heavy I was. And then I got pancreatitis and went down to 88 pounds and didn't think I'd live, to like now I'm, I think, I don't know how much I weigh or anything, but, and I feel like I've lost a lot of weight this last week, but still, I'm probably around 140. And so it's interesting that when I met Alder, I think I was like 170 pounds. And then I lost all that weight. So I lost 80 pounds when I had pancreatitis. And now I've been healing myself for the last several years, and I've gained back, 50 pounds or whatever. And it's like I've like lost a person almost, and gained back so much more. And I have more compassion for my body, my avatar, and looking at my fat and laughing at it with Alder being like, he loves it. He loves it. That's what drew him to me. He likes bigger women. So to him, he's like, I'm his dream girl right now. But for me, I told him, I'm like, I don't feel like me though. Like, I realized when I was like about 20 pounds later is when I felt the most like myself. When I look at myself now with more weight on me, I still see myself as beautiful, but I feel like it's an old version of me that is not really healthy and not really happy. And the truth was, Alder and I were becoming happier and happier. But as much as we love Big Camper, we just can't live in here anymore. 26 by 10-foot space. It's just, I mean, and that's like, it's like a narrow pathway. You guys have seen it when I do my videos. It's affected our sex life. We talked about that a lot, because the canopy's up there, and it's like there's where we lay, and then it's like there's the ceiling, so it's like there's not much room. And we try to have sex down here. Just being in here, it just doesn't. It's just been really interesting. Just so many things have been interesting. And I don't know what this is. I don't know if this is just a confessional or just trying to help even myself understand like what's happening, and that it's okay. You don't have to be perfect, and there's no such thing. And if you're happy, then be happy. But if there's something hindering your happiness, you have to take the obstacle out of your way. And we had a moment last night, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm like, this is it. Like, this is really it, And, hold on. Okay. And I was like, this was both of our first house. And that's what when we first met, we were both such loners and had really fucked up families and childhoods, and we'd both been molested and raped, and like we like mirror each other in such a beautiful way. And he was born on Sunday and I was born on Monday, so sun and moon, yin and yang, divine masculine, divine feminine. But it's interesting because he has a lot of feminine in his chart and I have a lot of masculine in my chart. And I was like, this may be the first home, but it won't be our last. And I said, maybe we should roam free for a while. And I even said to Spirit, it was like, I just let go. And I said, you know what? Even if this person doesn't show up tomorrow, I seriously said, I'm like, we don't have much money right now. But I said, he has 2 jobs that are like hounding him, that we can like turn things around like really fast. That's what we're good at, manifesting. We're great master generators. I think Jules calls me, I've heard the name, some
terminology of personality type or something. But I said, we'll give it to charity, because we have to have it moved by tomorrow. And so I said, I literally at this point don't care if we just give it to charity. I said that to Spirit. I'm like, I'm okay with that. Because when I was looking in Wanted, I saw these charities and they're, trying to give housing to parents. And I was like, fuck yeah, man. I go, not only would that be such an awesome thing to do, I'm like, but it's really good karma. That's not why I would do it, but I'm just saying, like, that would feel good to me. Like, that would feel right, you know? And so when I was talking with this person, this potential buyer, I just got this vibe, like, that they're somewhere like we were when we got this. And I don't know their story. I'm sure I'll find out more tomorrow, but I just thought, I'm excited for Big Camper to have a new adventure. Hopefully she'll give her a facelift or a redo or a gut or whatever. I don't know. But I also said to Alder today, I said, if it does end up going to charity, or if we end up getting somebody to come pick it up or whatever, I go, and she never runs again and they just make her a tiny home, I'm like, like, maybe she wants to be done, and then who are we to force her? Like, the Big Camper is like a force. She really is. She's an energy, and she's held us like this little womb for all of these years. And I'm like, maybe she doesn't want to move on. Like, maybe she's like, I'm done. But I don't know. We saw so much potential that we're like, oh, like her, like, do we keep her? Do we not keep her? And so I told Spirit, I said, I kind of gave him 3 options that I was interested in, and was like, whatever's in the greatest and highest good for everybody. So I guess we'll see tomorrow. But it would be nice. It would actually be really nice if we do get money for her, just so that we can breathe for a little while and just like go on a little vacation, or like take Bubba to the coast. As far as I know, she's never seen the ocean. I mean, through her cat eyes, through her cat body. I don't think she's been a cat before. And if she has, she's been like a large cat. I don't think she's ever been a small domestic cat. Especially just the way she talks and acts sometimes. Like, we laugh so hard. She's just so Bubba. And maybe she'll love it. Maybe she won't like it at first. I'm like, but maybe she'll learn to love it. I hope so. I hope so. But at the same time, I told her today, I said, dude, if you want to stay here, I'm sure Sarah would probably love for you to stay here. But, I don't know if she'd let you live inside. And so I guess we'll see what happens. But I think she's coming with us. Bubba's my familiar. But I told her, like, if she wanted to go, like, whatever she wanted to do. But I hope she comes with us. Just because I think it would be fun. It won't be easy, but I think it'll be fun. And I also found a way to make this. I have this really big cat carrier. It's a big one. It's almost like a dog carrier. It's just a carrier. So it's a bigger one. And so I just got this like idea, and she hates going in that carrier anyway. So when we're leaving, if I'm like, Bubba, you got to get in the car, she'll get in the car. But I found a way to make her cat carrier a litter box. So it'll be like her little porta potty. I gotta figure out how to line it. I'm gonna do that tomorrow after. And Sarah said we can camp here, so So tomorrow, Big Camper's gonna go, and then she said we can go and we can camp until Wednesday. And then she goes, and then honey, you have to go. And I was like, okay, I'm so sorry. And she's like, no, it's not that. She goes, because we've been boarding cows. And she goes, the butcher's coming. I'm like, what? And I was like, oh. And like, I tell Alder, he's like, yeah, I knew. I'm like, what? He's like, nobody wanted to tell you. I'm like, oh, because she's never boarded cows here before, ever. It's always been horses. So I was just like, that's interesting. But yeah, so she's like, you have to be gone by Wednesday. I can't deal with that energy. I'm like, okay. And actually, I'm okay with that. I'm like, I'm excited to go. The cool thing is, like, we don't know where we're going or what we're doing. And I'm like, isn't that kind of rad? And he's like, yeah. So, and he's got 2 jobs lined up for, I think, the weekend. So hopefully we'll take a few days and just go relax in nature. And hopefully Baba will like it. So send good vibes. I'm just going to send positive vibes and it's going to be fun. Ooh, when I looked down, it was 2020. Interesting. Yeah, a lot changed in 2020, the summer of 2020 for all of us. I mean, I'm watching, see, I just finished season 5, This Is Us, which is why I stayed up because I'm like, there's no way I'm going to miss the last 2 episodes. So I just stayed up and cleaned and kept like working on Big Camper because she's coming tomorrow morning. And yeah, I just like had this moment where I was like, this is some intense shit. There was so much of my life parallel on that show that I never even really picked up on until today in so many ways. Actually, the last few days we've been watching it. Anyway, that's it. That's my last transmission from Big Camper. But I was like, yeah, it's my last night here. It almost would feel weird and like not to do a goodbye video with you guys in here. But it's not goodbye. It's goodbye to Big Camper and hello to a new adventure. And the interesting thing is, I've kind of felt this all along. And Alder and I, like, you know, he's very connected like I am. And so every so often I'll say, what do you think? Or what do you feel? Or, you know, blah, blah, blah. And we both kind of admitted that we knew that this was what was going to happen, but we both just didn't want to. And it's so weird. Like, it's not the first time I've put my shit in storage and moved. I mean, it's literally, sorry, I'm not drunk. I'm high. I'm just tired. Um, it's definitely the third time, but I think it might be my fourth. But I've moved so many times in so many states. So, um, and I think that's why I was crying too and sad because I've lived like a gypsy for so long and I'm like, I'm tired. I'm like, I'm 50. And not that I'm old. I know 50 isn't old. Not like it was when I was growing up. But it's more like I have so many things I want to do. And yeah, I want to like travel and do things like that. But I'm ready to lay down roots somewhere for a minute too. So I'm not sure exactly what's going to happen or how long our adventure is going to go on. I've seen visions of September, or I should say, I've gotten hints of literally September, November, and December. So I don't know what that means. I just feel like there's going to be big things that are going to happen at that time. So I'm not really sure. Um, I'm not really sure. But 2020, 2 and 2 is the number 4, and 4 is all about balance. And I think that's what I need to bring back to my life. I've heard so many different pieces of music and songs. Like, Spirit has been like my spiritual jukebox. I mean, for real, it's like I've been getting signs or readings from Spirit through music, and you know that's how I do it a lot. But this was different. This was like, you know how sometimes people will be like, oh, it's not Spirit, it's just the algorithms, or like your phone's listening to you. And I'm like, sure, sometimes I could say that, but other times I'm like, well, unless they're literally inside my head, which it's the Matrix, so obviously they are, but you know what I mean? I'm like, no, it's definitely my spirit guides. And my dad, both of my dads, my birth dad and my stepdad, both of them have been sending me music through my phone's on shuffle. I mean, rare, really rare songs that, like, I don't even remember last time I heard it. And then I was like, oh my gosh, that was their favorite song, or that song, that was that song that reminded me of them. And, you know, just crazy shit. And then today, I heard this one Elvis song, The Latest Flame. Do you believe that yesterday? I should know it by heart. I heard all this shit my whole life. But you know what I mean? I was like, and it could be because maybe that's on the Elvis soundtrack, but when I looked at it on my phone, it was like Elvis greatest hits, like Elvis, not like, you know, Austin Butler playing Elvis in the new movie that just came out.
or I think it's coming out. Anyway, I can't wait to see it. Um, but it's just been like really heavy shit like that, to the point where even like where I feel so connected to Elvis. Like I've known him before too. It's very interesting. So much. And then today I heard, all we are saying is give peace a chance. And I heard it twice. I mean, there are thousands. I don't even know how many songs and stations I have on my shuffle on Pandora. I go by artists and I seriously don't even know, like, and genres and just crazy cool shit like that. I've been like taking screenshots. I think I have like 200 screenshots that I've taken over the last like few weeks of just where I'm like, holy shit. Or like Spirit will be like, take a screenshot. Anyway, it's so late. I'm so tired. She's going to be here in the morning. But it's my last night in my first house. And no matter her bumps and her bruises, I wrote in her ad, she may not be the prettiest girl at the ball. I'm like, but she's got good bones. And I took a video of it and everything. That's why this person is coming to get it, because they're like, no, she's really cute. And I'm like, yeah, I'm like, she just needs some TLC. And I had to gut one of the walls, and it's beautiful underneath. It's all aluminum, so it's not rusted at all. It's amazing. I actually was like, oh, so I'm just gonna be like, please send me pictures if you redo her. There's some spots obviously that need to be torn out completely and redone, but there's just so many cool things that you could do with her. And Alder has been like working nonstop 3 days straight in like 95-degree heat, just working to make sure that it's really safe, for whoever drives it. And even today, he was like, I have to rebuild. He was like rebuilding shit, rewiring, like just making sure, because these old engines from the 70s, like it's an old Ford and it's a good engine, but they're just a little more dangerous, So he was very cognizant of that, which was, I was like, we can't. I go, I will literally like have somebody tow her away for scrap, and like before I let anyone get hurt, that's like really important to us. So, um, and there was a moment where I was like, just let it go. I was like, just let it go. I'm like, that's too much. 2733, by the way, when I looked down, which is also the number 15, which is the number 6. And we're in a 6-year, 2022. I'm rambling. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being here. Don't be afraid to take risks. Take chances. You guys know many times I broke down crying living in here, told everybody I was ashamed to tell people I lived in here, and now it's like over the years I'm like, she's actually really rad. And I'm so grateful that I had this experience, and I will forever, ever, 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 ever be so grateful for this experience, no matter what the outcome is. And I'm so excited for the next chapter. Alder and I are both 50. Fives are about change and transformation. So I'm excited to see what happens, I also saw something about something in astrology that was really going to affect Geminis and Sagittarius. It was 4 signs, but 2 of them were Gemini and Sagittarius that are ours. We both have heavy placement in our charts with those signs, and Alder's actually Gemini, and his moon's in Sag. She's like a triple Gemini, his moon's in Sag. I'm like, fuck. That I forget. I don't know if you know astrology per people, please comment. But I think it said it was going to be a rough road for us till September, and I was like, oh, maybe that's what they were trying to say. But it's all good. It's all good. It's all good. We're actually going to take any money that we get, and we're going to invest it in our car and make sure that, she's souped up too. I want to get her detailed and stuff. So, yeah, it's going to be okay. No matter what, it's going to be okay. And thank you guys for being there and for supporting me. And just those texts and those messages tell me to hang in there and that you love me. I love you too. And it means a lot. And the financial support, you guys, has been so grateful. It's because you guys have donated. Thank you so, so much. It's because that you have that we've been able to sink it right back into Big Camper so that we can move her on, you know. And honestly, I was in such a dark shadow place when I was going off about my landlord, but I have to tell you, man, she really pulled it out. She was like old school. It's like we were peas and carrots again, like the old days, and it's been really amazing. And moving forward, I'm glad that, you know, it's like a win-win for everybody. I don't know this person's situation, but I know that they don't have a lot of money, and they were like, I'll send you payments, and I'm like, I believe you would, you know. And I said, give us whatever cash you have and send us what you can when you can. I'm okay with that. And I know that people have given us a break many times. Many people. I mean, Sarah, I don't know if you guys know the story, but we literally moved in here with $200. So sometimes, and even though as a life path 7, it's about wisdom and all these wonderful things, 7 in the tarot is about overcoming hardship or dealing with hardship. I'm not a tarot expert, but I do know that 7s, especially 7 of Wands, they're like, you know, trying to keep it together. And I think I'm meant to, you know, my whole life I've meant to walk this gypsy road to show other people my age, older, younger, that you can really be who you are and go after your dreams. And maybe it doesn't look like what other people think it should look like. You know, they're like, stay at your job and, you know, do what you hate and be miserable. And I was like, that's just not fucking working for me. I mean, I was like, well, then I'd rather be dead. And then Spirit helped me realize that I didn't have to die. I just had to kill the life that was killing me. And it's taken me a long time to get here. We got a long way to go and a short time to get there. Smoking the Bandit. All right, you guys, that's it. Thank you so much. It's more like the end of the party where you don't want it to end. That was a thing for me throughout my life too, where like I'd go to parties or people's houses and I didn't want it to end. It was the abandonment thing. But this time it's not an abandonment thing. It's a choice. And this has been our home, and my nose is not running. It's like it's itching, like someone's tickling it, you know? Spirit. Spirit, so great. 32, 39. And I'm realizing how much that those emotions and those past life energies are not controlling me. I was allowing them to drive the bus, but I don't really want to be on that bus anymore. I want to be somewhere different and somewhere special and exciting, and I've been hiding away for a long time. And now it's time for me to go back out there, at least for a little while in the summer. Last year we went camping a lot, and we were in nature a lot. We met many people that they really taught us a lot, and we taught them a lot. So that's what we're all here to do, is just walk each other home and support and love each other as much as possible. That's all we can do. So until next time, I don't know when I'll do another video or what they're going to have me do or what's going to happen, but until next time, take good care of yourselves and each other. I love you so much, and I love you, Big Camper. Oh, blessed be.